Are you getting regular messages about Universal Analytics ending in the 1st of July 2024? You're finding that the messages are talking about the data being deleted and that you should download your data as soon as possible. Or are you going into a Universal Analytics property and seeing this doom countdown here? Well, don't worry. There's lots of things that can be done before the end of June to make sure that you're able to download the data, keep the data somewhere safe, and be able to access it in a way that's meaningful for you. There are lots of different options out there, but the one process I like to use, and I've been using it for different clients, is this one here. So we're going to use a Google Sheets add-on to run reports to sort of bring in Google Analytics information into Google Sheets. We're then going to take that Google Sheets document and we're going to upload that information to Looker Studio so that we can then sort of work with the data in a little bit of a sort of more easy to do manner. So let's have a look at how we're going to do that now. The first step is to make sure you get this Google Analytics sheet add-on here, which is called Google Analytics. It allows you to access all of your Google Analytics data in one Google spreadsheet. I'll post a link to it in the chat below. Now that the extension's been added to your Google Sheets, let's get creating a new report. So I've got a blank Google Sheets document here, and I'm just going to call this one Universal Analytics Test, just for this purpose here. And then if I go into extensions, I can see here's my Google Analytics add-on here, and I'm going to click Create New Report. When you click that, you're going to get a sidebar opening here, which allows you to create your new report and choose your configuration options. So let's add in, let's call this Sessions, for example. And here we can choose our account, our property, and our view. It will only allow you to look at Universal Analytics properties and views. And now you've got the option here to choose your configuration options. This is a really nice functionality. So you can either scroll down and find the relevant metric or dimension that you're looking for, or you can search as well to find what you want. So here's, I want to run a report for sessions. So I'm going to add a sessions here. And then I want to segment this by using the date dimension. So again, I can search in here, or I can just search for date. And there's my date now added in. But just so you know, I'll add this into the chat below, but there is a reference tool here. So if you wanted to find relevant tools, you can use this tool here to search for specific different metrics and different dimensions that you want to utilize. So let's click Create Report. And we can see what we've got now is we've got a report configuration tab set up, which is looking at metrics, looking at sessions, looking at the date. We've got the start date of 30 days ago and the end date of yesterday. But actually what we really want is the full gamut of Universal Analytics, if relevant. So we're going to change this date range here. And to do that, we use this date format here. So the year, the month, and the day with dashes in between. This has just come through with some weird formatting, and we can change that now. But yeah, you always want to have the year, dash, month, dash, date. I've put the end date as yesterday, but you could go into your Universal Analytics and take a look at the kind of information that is there and have a look at when Universal Analytics ended and just change it to that specific date. We've also got a limit here of 1,000. We can remove that if we wanted to, or if we wanted to set a specific limit, then we absolutely can do. But let's click Extensions again. I want to see this data now, so let's click Extensions, click Google Analytics, and then click Run Reports. This will now open up a download and give us a report status, and we can see one report completed successfully. So we can see that actually from 2017, not a lot of information was sent. But if we scroll down, we can start to see these sessions coming in. So actually we can amend this to the 2022, which looks like when this Universal Analytics started. And then if we scroll down even further, we can see where it ended. So that's us got information into Google Sheets now from Google Analytics. What we're now going to do is take this information and then move it to Looker Studio. So you've got your data in Google Sheets now. I've just actually tidied this up a little bit so we start when the first sort of collection date occurred. And now what we want to do is move this over to Looker Studio. So let's get Looker Studio up. And what we'll do is we will click Create a new report. Of course, you can add this to any report that you've got running at the moment, but for us, we're just going to utilize a new report. And we've got lots of options here to add lots of different connectors, but the one we want is the Google Sheets one here. And here I can see already it's found my Universal Analytics test. And what we're going to do is bring in the tab that's got all of the sessions information in it here. So let's choose that option. One of the things we have to be aware of is that there are a couple of options where it says use first row as headers, but actually if we go and have a look at it, the first row is not actually what we want to see. So there's a couple of options. We can either, once we ran all of the data in Google Sheets, we can delete these top rows here, or we can choose the specific sort of cells that we want to see. And I'm going to do that now. So if I click include specific range, what I'm going to do is include A15 down to B, scroll all the way down, let's have a look, down to B275. So I'm going to choose A15 down to B275. Let's just check that that's right. B275, that's right. Of course, you know, you could your selection, your specific range will be different depending on the different kinds of information that you've got. So if you've got more metrics, if you've got more dimensions, your range will be different. I'm happy with this as is, so I'm going to click Add. So what we've now got is we've got our Google Sheets data. We've now added as a data source into Google Looker Studio, and now we're going to manipulate the data to build lots of different reports. What you'll notice is when you've connected your initial data source, you'll have a table created which will show you some specific different dimensions and metrics. So here it's got date and record count, not hugely valuable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. What I want to see is a time series chart. So I'm going to click Add a Chart here and click Time Series Chart. And I'm just going to widen that out a little bit. We've got the dimension here as date, and we've got the metric as record count. Let's actually change that to sessions. And here we can see we've got our sessions coming into a time series chart now. I like that. I like to see a date by date review of all of the different sessions. But actually, let's have a look at it from a month by month perspective here. So I can copy this and I can paste it. So I've still got the same data. We can see it's still got the date, but actually if I choose date in the dimension section and go to date and time, I can choose year and month, for example, and that will show me the information, same information but presented in a different way. And there's lots of different stylistic things I can do. So if I click in the style function in the right hand tab, I can click show data labels, for example, and I can also choose to add in you know, the X and the Y axis as well. So that's just from a very basic standpoint. That's how you can bring in your data from Google Sheets into Looker Studio so that you can focus on that information when you need it. If you wanted to add in a control, so for example the date control, you can absolutely do that. So what I've done is I've added add a control and chosen date range control here. At the moment the default date range is auto, but we could change that to last year, for example, and that will change this information here, and we can see where it stopped. So that's a really simple way of taking your Google Sheets information into Looker Studio. The next step maybe is to sort of present this in a much more amenable way, maybe with the right different stylings, your logo and your branding, and maybe even adding some text information to describe the information that you're seeing. But as a starting point, this is where I would start.